Hello fellow humans and welcome to the second time I'm doing this week's shop review because Nvidia has casually forgotten to record the sound on the first one. And we start off disappointing, not as disappointing as Nvidia, but still with the SU-100Y, which is a meme tank that, well, it's just that. If you are having fun with a tank like this, sure, it can be worth 2k gold. You can sell it for a couple of credits, but in general, it's a meme tank. You have to know for yourself if you want to pick up something like that. Now, the growth tractor is great, free 1,200 gold, so I definitely recommend buying this bundle because you just get free 1,200 gold if you sell the vehicle, so pretty much worth it. In that case, you also get premium time, you get a couple of boosters, and you get K coins, I suppose. And then we have the Object 752, which I've talked about in detail last week, so check out last week's shop review if you want to know more about this vehicle. It is a good tank at a not so good price, pretty much. Then we have the Steel Snipers. Well, it's not a good price either. The GSO is a medium tank that tries to be a tank destroyer but fails at doing both, so it's not worth 10k. And the CDA is bland and boring, so essentially a worse version of the WZ-121 GFT or whatever it's called, the Tier 8 Chinese one. So both of them not really that amazing. These ×5s are unfortunately locked to the vehicles, which makes them useless unless you invest more gold into converting the XP into free XP. And then, speaking of useless, these two. Obviously, ISU-130, it said it doesn't have the one advantage of the ISU-152, and that is excellent penetration and excellent alpha damage. This thing doesn't. So, not cool. And a T-4400, well, it's a generic Tier 7. Why would you spend money on something like that? And that pretty much almost concludes it, besides this lovely bundle of two tanks that are one irrelevant and one garbage. We start off with the irrelevant, because this vehicle is essentially a worse Type 57 that has absolutely no place in the game in the way it is. It is a single-shot gun, so it doesn't make any sense. It's just another further generic copy of a Soviet-style heavy tank where you can get an Object 2FTU or a Type 57, which are both better, pretty much, and this vehicle doesn't have any DPM at all, and accuracy is 0.41, so yeah. And as always, bundles that include credits are not really worth it. Credits have pretty bad value for the most part, so wait for there to be better bundles that don't include credits. And as always, don't buy crates, because the only surprise you get with surprise containers is that now you have no money and, surprisingly, nothing, because crates are bad. Wargaming is still relentlessly trying to make you buy camouflages, which you absolutely shouldn't do because camouflages are pretty bad value pretty much all the time. And Retrotopia is still going on. And if you haven't logged into the game anytime recently, do so, because then you can claim your gift for Blitz's birthday. Well, there is news, and it is a new $50,000 tournament for touch players. Let's talk about the MX-CDC, a piece of hardware so bad, it might as well be made from Nvidia. And probably has been designed by the British, given their record of amazing tank designs. Now, what we have here is a vehicle that weighs nothing and does nothing and can do nothing besides die. So, what you have here is a heavy vehicle with an absolutely excellent engine. So, which means, if you happen to want to YOLO into the enemy team at 6 minutes 50, this is the perfect tank for you. However, if you want to have anything even remotely close to combat effectiveness, so not the Russian army, then this is not the vehicle that you want. Because, to be fair, even though this is not a hospital, the Russian army could still hit this thing. And that's how impressively big this thing is. So, the problem really is that while it does have an okay gun, like it's not really horribly bad, it's not the gun of the T-44, after all. But the problem is, you put a mediocre tank gun onto a chassis that is, well, not mediocre, but instead is absolutely garbage, given that it has no armor, and is massive, and also isn't a light tank, which means you can't hide this thing absolutely anywhere, because you lose all your camo rating while moving. If this thing were a light tank, which it obviously isn't because it's massive, then you could, you know, let's say, sort of hide it, because camo rating stays the same when light tanks are moving. But in this case, you've got a massive pile of no armor that everything with HE can hit. You can have a 50% crew SU-152 with the derp gun played by a 40%er, and they're still gonna hit it reliably. That's how massive this thing is. And of course, they're also gonna pin it because it has no armor whatsoever. So, what you essentially need to be is you have to be, first of all, the maniac to even consider purchasing a vehicle that is essentially a downgrade over the already horrible vehicles such as like a T-44. And then you also have to be mad enough to play it in a way where obviously you can't peek anything, because if you peek, then even the worst of players with the most inaccurate of aim is going to be able to hit you. So you can't peek anything. I'm going to do that anyway because I'm me. So at this point, I'm just going to have to wait for the Kyler to actually do anything, because the only thing this thing can do is retreat to the croissant buffet to get even fatter. So, yeah, not great. Now, at least standard penetration is somewhat okay at 212, and the accuracy is 0.3, but the dispersion is 0.16, so it's not really great there. But overall, let's have a go at him. It's probably going to shoot me, because, I mean, if you miss the MXCDC, then what are you doing? The problem of this vehicle just simply is its complete failure of building a concept that is all-round sound, right? You have, like, let's say a vehicle like a Smasher that pretty much only relies on its gun being excellent. Where's my ping 300? Anyway, so, and then the rest is sort of works out itself. But the problem with the MXCDC is that it's not that. Like, it doesn't have anything amazing about it, which means the redeeming qualities also don't exist. Which is not really great, because you would have to redeem it quite a lot. Now, let's see, 10 degrees of gun depression, just about enough. There we go. You can peek quickly with it at least, so that's one advantage. If you are a somewhat decent player that can peek quickly, and you don't drive into the ground, because servers are excellent. Hello. Thank you. So then you can make use of it, because if you can peek very quickly, and you'll be okay. But then again, you're sort of paying to have yourself a massive pain in the ass in tank form, in this case. Now, where is that T-44? Hello there, little man, and I can't do anything about it because my turret is now sideways. Okay. That's great. Why am I doing well? It's kind of a bad showcase to do well in a vehicle that you want to bash, but then again, here I am. And now, we're gonna have to get out of here. I probably would assume that this might as well be an ace, even with 15% packet loss, because, I mean, gee. There's absolutely no reason to assume that this vehicle is being played well, because it absolutely isn't. And now, let's see. We're going to get away from that T-44. It somehow manages to be worse than this thing, which is impressive. Hello there. Nope. And now, obviously the big problem here is that the Kyler is trying to chase a tank he can't chase. I just love that. When a heavy tank player is like, okay, I have half the speed, but let me run after him anyway. So, it would have probably been a better idea for him to stay in the cap circle, so that's now what I'm going to have to do here, because I can't chase the T-44 because I have no hit points, and the Kyler can't chase the T-44 because he has no mobility. So, and I have to essentially stay on this side, hope that he doesn't cross too far, and then I'll sort of be fine. But let's see what we can do. Anyway, now it does have a great engine. There's no doubt about that it does have a great engine, but the problem is, with great horsepower comes great responsibility. And this is Blitz. So, please, whatever you do, don't spend your money on this thing. Ever. I'm just gonna peek anyway, because whatever. So, here we go. I'm just faster, that's why. And that's what you can do to save this vehicle. Just be a fast peeker. I say this every video all of a sudden now, because it's just that important, but even a vehicle like this, if you're a good enough player, you can save it. But please don't buy it. But please, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if that's not an ace, of course it is. Anyway, with that said, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, because I didn't. And see you for the next one. Goodbye.